Zuma is proud to sponsor the Dr. Mol Show.
Hello, doctor. Please tell me now. Please tell me how I take this life and get it right. Hello, doctor. I want to live the best life that I can. You know I got to live the best life that I can. Today, I want to live the best life.
Today on the Dr. Mol Show, we follow the chivalrous tradition of putting women and children first when it comes to health and wellness. 5FM's Catherine Grenfell does a fun fitness assessment with all 5 of her children. We make a secretly healthy smoothie and get it rated by the toughest judges of all, our kids. A look in on Pippi Kruger's miraculous recovery, and First Lady Madam Tobeka Zuma explains why it's her personal mission to help the women of South Africa live their best lives. Sorry, gents, the ladies and little ones have our full attention for the next hour. Hello and welcome to the show. If you're a parent, listen carefully. Several studies have confirmed again and again that there are essentially 2 ingredients that you control as parents that could affect your children's lives for the better. In fact, it'll help them perform better academically, feel better about themselves, their bodies and their abilities. It'll help them cope with stress and regulate their emotions better and avoid feelings of low self-esteem, anxiety and depression. And I know if you're a parent, you're thinking, what? What? Tell me what they are. Well, that's what you can expect from kids who exercise regularly and eat healthily. It's as simple as that, and there's plenty of science to back that up. So we know it's important, but are we putting our money where our kids' mouths should be? The results from the Rainbow Nation Health Monitor last month revealed that 1/3 of South African kids don't eat any vegetables, and 2/3 have regular fast food meals. Most concerning, though, was the fact that more than half of these teenagers admit to not getting any or enough exercise. It's no wonder then that kids are heavier today than they've ever been, and that childhood obesity and the diseases associated with being overweight are now primary health concerns. So what do we need to do to change that? Well, you can tell your kids what they must do, but as all parents know, kids just don't listen. So the best thing you can do is to model a healthy lifestyle for them. You need to eat healthily and exercise regularly, and your children will follow suit.
Being active has never been more rewarding.
5FM DJ and Drive Time producer Catherine Grenfell is one cool mom with a busy family of 5 children.
Family life is crazy. It's fun, busy, and we do a lot of extramurals, and so my life pretty much revolves around making sure that the kids get fetched and carried and get to all of their appointments on time. And then on the weekends, just spending family time together. We're quite outdoorsy, and so we do a lot of work in our vegetable garden, and we've got some fruit trees, and so yes, that's our family.
Fit, healthy children do better intellectually and emotionally, so a good foundation is vital.
How do I know how fit my kids really are?
Well, like you said, your kids range from age 3 to 11, and there's different developmental stages. For example, with your 3-year-old, you're going to try and get her ball skills going, her balance skills going, and that kind of thing. Whereas up to the 11-year-olds, then it's more a sporting thing and school sports, which becomes very important.
How important is it for me as a parent to be involved in my children's sporting activities?
If you as a family go out and do physical activity, if you go to gym with your partner or encourage that kind of thing, they're going to grow up knowing that that's what happens. We have to go to gym, we have to eat healthy, and on the flip side, of course, they're not going to know it. So very important for you and your family to be doing it together.
Can you show me a few examples of what exercises I can do with my children?
For sure, let's go.
Exercises for children can help develop important physical skills and be fun at the same time.
Okay guys, so I've set up a few things and I'm going to take you each to a site, and then your mom and I are going to come and show you what you have to do, okay? You're going to take this ball, sit on it for me. You're going to stand right here in front of the hula hoop. These are called hedgehogs, okay? Will you stand at the hedgehogs?
Call them landmines.
And you can stand on our trampoline. Okay, Catherine, this is what I planned for Holly today. It's a simple tunnel, but we're going to get her to crawl through. She's building her core strength, her upper body, as well as her lower body strength. Do you know about the game of hopscotch?
Yes.
Have you played it before?
Yes.
Okay, so instead of drawing some squares on the floor, I've just put some hula hoops. Then you're going to go jump in one leg when there's one hoop and two legs when there's two hoops. At 8 years old, obviously you can try and get a bit more creative and a bit harder. So I brought my Pokeball ball. Kids love it. When they sit on this ball, you'll realize that by slouching, they won't be able to do it. So apart from like strengthening their legs and their core muscles, you're getting their posture right. Okay, friend, these are what I call hedgehogs, okay? Yes. This is quite an advanced balancing activity, but we're going to get him to try. So to begin with, you can hold his hand while he's doing it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just step with one foot over here, then your left foot goes there, right foot, left foot, and then you see that log right on the end? Yeah. You're going to walk across the log. Hi, and what is your name?
Noah.
Hi Noah, how old are you?
11.
So the activity that I've planned for today for him is a squat. He's going to hold the ball, and then as he comes up, he's going to throw it to you and throw it back. Having him on the trampoline just again works on his balance and makes it a little bit harder.
Well, Mum, this has been amazing, and you've shown me some really great exercises to do with my children. But I work, and obviously the children have extramurals and all of that. How do I fit in all of these different exercises and 5 children, and how long do they need to be, and per day or per week?
Well, the fact that you mentioned that they have extramurals and they are going to school, remember that they are active at school. Most schools have like a PE program, or they're doing some sort of sports. More importantly is the days that they're not at school or you at home, you want to take them outside and spend at least like half an hour doing this kind of thing.
How fit are my kids actually?
Well, Catherine, based on the activities that I've given them today, they've actually done quite well, so you seem to be on the right track. So my advice would be keep it up and keep them active.
Parents lead by example, so a healthy lifestyle for you will make for fit, healthy, happy kids.
Being active has never been more rewarding.
Coming up, breast cancer awareness with our First Lady. Share your comments and insights by joining the Dr. Mol Show Facebook fan page.
I want to live the best life.
You know, Nolene, we've lived through all the big financial innovations.
Through Felicia, like internet banking,
The first credit card.
the piggy bank.
Yeah, that's why it's so exciting for us to be working here at Wonga.com.
That's right. Introducing online loans from Wonga.com. Just use our sliders to decide how much you want to borrow and for how long, and we'll tell you how much it'll cost.
Your lunch is ready.
Oh, Jenna France, you're so ahead of the curve. You've most gone round the bend.
Wonga.com. Fast little loans.
Harnessing our resources to create industrial capacity for sustainable employment. This is the Industrial Development Corporation in action. The IDC, your partner in development finance.
Because we want to thrive as a mother, friend, sister, and partner, we start by taking care of our digestive well-being, because one of the first steps to feeling renewed is listening to your tummy and giving it natural wheat bran fiber. With a bowl of Kellogg's All Bran each day, you can feel all brand new.
Make this festive season even more beautiful at Clicks with gorgeous gifts at gorgeous prices. Look out for our range of oh so heavenly gifts like Season to Sparkle holiday hands only $19.99. Oh so heavenly complete care packs from $44.99 per pack. And oh so heavenly gift boxes at only $69.99. From Clicks with love. Feel good, pay less.
Your heart rate jumps up and down as you take on the day. Your heart needs to be strong to keep up. Flora is made of a premium blend of seed oils high in omega-3 and 6 to help keep your heart strong every day. Flora, you need a strong heart today.
Welcome back. Madam Tobeka Madiba Zuma is married to our president. She's been First Lady since 2010. She formerly was a bank clerk, but she's recently been listed as one of South Africa's most influential women, cited as a cancer crusader, particularly after she started her own foundation to increase awareness about breast and cervical cancer in Africa, particularly amongst disadvantaged women. Madam Zuma, it is such a pleasure to have you in studio with us.
Wonderful.
May I shake your hand?
Yes, please.
I think we can. Hey?
By all means, thank you.
I'm fascinated. We see the entourage. What's a day in the life like of a First Lady?
Sure. I think a day, to sum it up, is a balancing act between the official duties of being the spouse of the president and that of a bit of family time, and also giving attention to the foundation, the Tobeka Madiba Zuma Foundation.
Today we're talking about the foundation, we're talking about cancers today, and we know that breast cancer in South African women is the most common form of cancer, and cervical cancer the second most common form of cancer. So it's prevalent, but I'm curious to know why you've decided to champion that cause in particular.
You see, for me, Dr. Mol, I had a challenge of seeing women dying premature deaths when it is within our means to prevent those deaths. Looking at the position that I found myself in, that of being the spouse of the president, and that position was unique in nature, and that position I could use to influence the stakeholders and policy, and I felt I had to start a foundation ensuring that women are aware of the disease and highlighting what it is that they need to do in order to take charge of their lives.
That's wonderful, and I love the idea of prevention rather than cure. I think that's the message that you're trying to put out there in a big way, which is great. And when it comes to breast cancer and cervical cancer, there are certain risk factors that are modifiable, lifestyle decisions and choices that we make. And you've actually made some of those choices in your own life. So talk us through some of the risk factors that we can do something about when it comes to those cancers.
All these diseases are lifestyle diseases, the non-communicable ones. And the risk factors for me is eating healthy, and the distance between the garden and the fork matters. That is eating locally and eating healthy. We're seeing a rise in obesity also in our country, women that are overweight, and we know what needs to be done, that is eating healthy and exercising as well.
There was a wonderful study done recently that showed just 2 hours of brisk walking a week, now that's not a lot, reduced the potential risk of breast cancer by 20%.
Absolutely.
So you're so right, exercise is vitally important.
Exercising 30 minutes a day for 5 days, minimum 3 days. I've done it myself, losing weight, and I'm also exercising. I'm on a treadmill every second day. I've lost 22 kilos, so I'm leading by example.
Wow,
it's possible.
Congratulations, that is
It's
amazing.
possible, just by changing what I was eating. And it made all the difference. And another one, which is a huge problem, is tobacco. For me, it doesn't add value. So there is no reason why we are smoking, but we still seeing people smoking, and that puts them at risk of getting cancer.
I was quite blown away by the stigma that's associated with breast cancer, particularly in rural areas. Would you tell me a bit more about that?
You see, in the rural areas, Dr. Mol, I've come across women that are scared to come out because they fear rejection. They fear to be rejected by their partners, and their fear of rejection is more than fear of death. And for me, that also talks to the lack of education, the health illiteracy that we see. So it's very important for us to raise awareness and educate women so that they come out and it takes away the stigma, and they know that breast cancer or cervical cancer is a curable disease, but as long as it's arrested early.
Spoken like a true First Lady. You know, when it comes to breast cancer, early detection and early treatment saves lives. And really, early detection is made up of three things, essentially. From the age of 20, young women need to do self-breast examinations just to see if there's any difference. It's not to pick up cancer, but it's to notice abnormalities. And then from your 30s and particularly your 40s, a clinical breast examination by a health provider, very important to do. And then finally, when it comes to early detection, is that mammogram, which is not as easy, granted, in a rural setting, but very important to do if you have access to. So from the age of 40, most years, or on average every year, women need to go and have a mammogram done.
Absolutely.
You've had a mammogram done, I'm sure.
I have every year. I diarize to go for a full medical checkup. Not only myself, my family, my mother, my housekeeper. I take them all to the doctors and they get lined up to have their breast examined, because that pain of having your breast
is uncomfortable.
Compressed is better than having to go through chemo and mastectomy and all the harsh realities that you have to face when you are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Thank you for setting the example. You know, because it's one thing to create awareness and to talk about it and say we should, but you're actually doing it. You, as you said, you're losing weight, you're going through mammograms, you're going through examinations.
It's
True First Lady. Thank you, Madam Zuma. I really appreciate that. If I were to ask you to tweet around our conversation, we're talking breast cancer, cervical cancer, women's health in Africa, how would you tweet the kind of summary of your message?
I think my tweet will be go and have yourself checked out. And early detection will save your life. And those that are already affected by the disease, there's life beyond diagnosis.
Thank you so much. My tweet is going to be, just spoke to the First Lady of our country and she blew me away. How's that? Madam Zuma, thank you for your time. Really, really do appreciate that.
Great stuff.
That was special. Appreciate those insights. Along with our First Lady, can I encourage you to wear those pink ribbons like she's wearing all year round and raise awareness around cancer and the importance of early detection. And not just pink ribbons, mind you, but red ones too. 200 South Africans will die today from some form of heart disease, and 1 in 4 women before the age of 60 will develop a heart condition which can be prevented. That's why we're urging every one of you to also think red, to think about your hearts and take the necessary steps to keep it ticking for longer.
Worldwide, 8.5 million women die of heart disease each year, which is why we're encouraging you to think red, to educate yourself and raise awareness around heart disease.
Well, I'm a Flora Think Red ambassador, and I thought it was really great just to be part of this event when they asked me to be here today. So to be the MC, to be the host of an incredible luncheon, is just a wonderful opportunity to connect with people and to show people that it's important to look after your heart. It doesn't matter how healthy you are, very, very important to check those numbers. It takes 5 minutes to go in to have it done, and you know that you're going to be healthy and live a good, strong life.
No, I don't think there's anyone who hasn't somehow been affected by heart disease, whether it's a father who's had a heart attack or an aunt who suffered a stroke. You know, although the statistics around heart disease are so frightening, it's not all bad news. There is good news out there, and that's really what today is all about.
We are trying to make people aware of the very high risk of heart disease in South Africa. It's the second biggest killer. So what we've done is we've joined with the Heart and Stroke Foundation, we've joined with 7 celebrities, and all of them are working with us to help make people aware of the need to take care of their hearts.
Although estrogen may protect women against cardiovascular disease, it's not enough to warrant ignorance when it comes to your heart health.
Before I came here, I didn't know anything about my BMI, blood pressure and cholesterol, and I'm so glad that I came, because now I'm more aware of what I need to do to keep it fine and great.
Today, more women die of heart disease than men in South Africa, but education could help change that trend.
This is certainly a huge success for us, and we're very, very happy for a number of reasons. One is because we've managed to reach so many women. We know that women are the gatekeepers of the health of homes, children, families.
Well, it's amazing to see 150 women in a room all celebrating Think Red, all going home, and they're probably going to spread the message to 10 of their friends. So I think it's really been an incredible day of spreading the message, knowing your numbers and thinking red.
Your heart needs to be strong to keep up. Flora, for a strong heart today.
After the break, we dare to impress some tiny taste testers. You can be part of our Cape Town studio audience by sending an email to info@drmol.com.
I want to live the best life.
mom says that every day is a good day with Ultramel. Every day is for sharing and laughing and having fun with the people you love the most. The special ingredients in our family is Ultramel because it's so smooth and creamy and milky and yellow yummy. Every day is an Ultramel day in our family. Ultramel. Serve a smile every day.
You'd do anything for your family to ensure their future's in good hands, and in return, they put their heart in yours. You give them the best education, the healthiest food, a safe home, and all your love. When it comes to healthcare, trust a company that's been trusted by professionals and consumers for over 10 years. Pharmadynamics set the benchmark in quality generic medicines. Pharmadynamics, effective, affordable healthcare. Your heart needs to be strong to keep up. Flora, for a strong heart today.
Like death and taxes, exam stress is something you cannot avoid. So best you take the bull by the horns and deal with it. Too much stress can affect your brain's ability to retrieve information, which is a disaster during exam time. But remember that not all stress is bad for us. The trick is to get the dose right. If you find exams to be relaxing or a pure pleasure, then you must be missing something. A modest amount of stress and anxiety can provide valuable stimulus to get us to study and prepare. Otherwise, we might not bother to put in our best effort. Anxiety is normal, but you don't need to become so anxious that you're crippled by fear. You need to control the anxiety and not let it control you. You are the boss, even if it doesn't feel like it.
Exam stress is the stress that you get because you don't know what's coming.
I think exam stress is basically when one gets too worked up about a situation and feels certain negative emotions about the exam.
The exam stress is definitely coming in tiredness, but I think that's because I'm pushing myself to sleep later at night, trying to get ready for my exam, or as prepared as I can for my exam.
I'm not too worried about these exams. I think they're going okay. I just try to get a good night's sleep every night and eat properly.
The fact that I now snack a lot and I'm getting spots, I think that's my exam stress.
Oh, it's horrible. I have a lot of self-doubt, especially with work that I know, and I feel overtired. I get myself into such a state that I can no longer think rationally at all.
I'm not experiencing anything at the moment because I've prepared myself well, and I like to do things to just keep myself calm, so I'm right at the moment.
From the beginning of the year, every day in class I pay attention to ensure that I have as little stress as possible.
I'm countering exam stress by listening to music periodically and just doing things like taking regular breaks so that I don't have to wear myself out.
To counter exam stress, I'm trying to keep active, eat healthy, and make sure I know all my work.
I talk to other kids and realize that they know just as little as I do, so I don't have to worry about it too much.
Advice I'd give to someone experiencing exam stress is just to talk to friends to make sure that they aren't alone, everyone else is experiencing it.
I would say break down your work into things that you don't know and focus on those areas instead of freaking out about everything, and then it will help you to de-stress knowing that you know what you know, and then in the exam you'll be able to crack it, hopefully.
I can't advise you on study technique or how to revise properly, but I can tell you what you need to do from a health perspective to ensure that you perform at your best. 4 simple ingredients for a great exam result. The human brain is highly sensitive to blood sugar levels and will not function properly if you starve it of glucose. So avoid weight loss and fad diets that exclude carbohydrates. It's also been shown that protein stimulates an amino acid called tyrosine, which has a very strong ability to boost mental performance and overcome the mind-muddling effects of stress. So while you're studying, make sure you're eating a well-balanced diet, and on the morning of your test, every test, have a high-protein breakfast and take a few snacks with you into the exam to make sure that your blood sugar levels don't dip. Secondly, get plenty of exercise. Studies have shown that people who exercise routinely think better, remember more, and react more quickly than those who don't exercise at all. And it's a proven stress reliever. How much, you ask? Well, try to get at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days of the week. Thirdly, get adequate sleep, not just the night before your exam, but for the whole week leading up to your exams. You see, sleep debt has a cumulative negative effect on your brain and can't be corrected by just one good night's sleep the evening before. And finally, there's a plethora of supplements available on the shelves, all promising to improve mental performance and beat exam stress, but you can't believe everything you read on the bottle. Supplements that contain omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D and B complex vitamins may well make a positive contribution to brain functioning, as long as you use these supplements for longer periods in the run-up to exams, rather than to swallow a few handfuls of the stuff at the 11th hour. And for parents of schoolgoers, here's a list of the best brain foods to feed your kids. Apples, all types of berries, citrus fruit, grapes, raisins, rooibos or green tea, and chocolate. That's right. And remember that only one person can be responsible for writing that exam. So make sure that you are not that person.
Your heart needs to be strong to keep up. Flora, for a strong heart today.
Vital, now in a brand new pack.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. You mash some pumpkin with sugar and cinnamon and flour, hoping to disguise the fact that you're coaxing your child into eating something they swore never to do, healthy vegetables. I mean, that makes a parent want to scream. How do we get our children to eat healthy food and fight the perception that healthy food tastes bad? I mean, you must get that question all the time, Andrea.
So often. And, you know, the pressure is on because we need to eat healthily. And they say we need to ingest 5 portions of fresh fruits and or vegetables per day. And with children, that's quite a challenge.
And it's not just kids. I mean, adults also think that healthy food tastes bad, you know.
Well, I think we can prove them wrong.
We certainly can.
Yes.
So here's the challenge to you today is how do we get the most nutrients, dense nutrients, into our kids' mouths and get them to enjoy it?
Well, the next level definitely is a smoothie because it's a way to concentrate and combine highly nutritious foods here. Okay. Well, the obvious ones are fruits, like fruit juice and berries and bananas.
All right. Well, let's get
but
right
also
into that,
some avocado, because the healthy fats are so important for brain development.
Avocado in a smoothie?
Yes.
I'm going to have to taste that. Obviously, crushed ice.
Some crushed ice.
All right, and
some frozen berries.
Frozen berries. Let's just toss all of them in. As much as this, and this is rich in antioxidants.
It's packed with antioxidants, yes. The idea always with a smoothie is to take a variety of fruits, to add some fruit juice. Now we've got some freshly squeezed orange juice, which is rich in vitamin C, of course.
Freezing fruit doesn't do anything to the nutritional value, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So you don't lose out, it doesn't sort of pass out through the fridge door and leave the front door?
No, definitely not.
All right. Freshly squozen orange juice is a new word, actually. All right.
Why we freeze the fruit is for a nice texture in the smoothie.
Okay.
And then the avocado.
Can I make the smoothie without the avocado? Because I just, what if this spoils?
It won't spoil it.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just taking your word for this, Andrea. Avocado in a smoothie, here goes.
There we go.
Wow, and there was even avocado juice there too. Was that a bit of lemon juice?
That was a bit of lemon juice.
Okay, all right. Here goes. Ta-da! Taste test, okay. And so remind me of the rule, the brighter the colour, the richer in antioxidants the fruit is.
Definitely. If you look at berries, the dark purple and reds represent the antioxidants in those fruits. So the bigger the variety of colours and the brighter the colours, the more antioxidants.
Fantastic.
So now the test.
The taste test. And you know what? This kind of smoothie, depending on the age of your child,
thank you,
I could give this to my youngster and say to him, Nathan, look what Dad has prepared for you. This is a glass of ogre blood. And it tastes delicious.
I don't think that's a good idea.
anything to get your 4-year-old to have some something healthy. All right, so
well,
this is
cheers.
it.
Yes, to good health.
To good health.
Can you taste the avocado?
I can't. You've hidden it. That
so you
is
see.
very, very clever.
So this is such fun to do. The family can also participate in making smoothies, and naturally you can choose the fruits that you enjoy. But to try and incorporate a variety, Vital has brought out a new children's range of supplements because we know how difficult it is to get that optimal intake on a daily basis. So there's a variety of multivitamins, but also an omega-3 fish oil supplement, which many moms know are important for their children.
That's right, but kids do not like fish oils. I mean, it's just one of those, oh, must I really? You know, so you've got the answer.
We've got the answer. So there's another taste test for you. We've developed a sherbet, a fruit-flavoured sherbet with a high-potency fish oil. So you can see there.
That almost doesn't seem to go hand in hand. How would you do that?
For you.
Fish oil and a sherbet. Look at that. Wow, this is avocado smoothie and this a sherbet that's
deodorized fish oil and you can be the judge of the taste.
I don't believe that.
That's amazing.
I actually breathed in some of that, which you shouldn't do.
Yes.
But that is fantastic. I mean, that's a sweet.
So I think it
Wow.
solves two problems. Children love sweet things, and this is a low GI product, and it's packed with brain-building omega-3 fatty acids.
Very, very good. But you know, we're adults, and kids don't ever believe adults, so don't take our word for it. We've asked a whole bunch of children to test our smoothie and to test the sherbet and to give us their opinion. This is what they had to say.
The sherbet was very nice. I loved it. It was very sour and it was very nice. I thought it was fantastic, yummy and delicious, and I loved it. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I was going to say that. The smoothie was delicious and I loved it. It was delicious, and when I tasted it, I liked it. It was sour and nice. It was nice and I enjoyed it even though it tastes fruity.
This smoothie is the best. I loved it the most from everyone. It was a bit sour, but I don't care. I loved it.
What if I told you there was avocado in the smoothie? What do you have to say about that?
I love it still. I know there's avocado in the smoothie. I liked it. It doesn't matter if there was a bit sour in it. I still loved it.
Vital, now in a brand new pack.
We found goodness in Goed Gedacht olive oil and all the good they do for the community. Pick and Pay, always there for you.
Kids, they either eat everything in sight or nothing at all. But you'll usually find they've got some favourites. I don't know, fish fingers, spaghetti bolognese, those sort of things are usually pretty popular. And in our house, sweet and sort of sticky chicken strips are pretty cool. I've got 4 chicken breasts that I've cut into strips. These are sort of Asian flavours. Got soy sauce, got some honey, some ginger. If your kid likes chili, or if you've got no kids and you're eating them yourself, got to admit that, put some chili in. And then, secret ingredient, bit of corn flour, maizena. Put that in. That's what keeps all the ingredients sort of sticking to your chicken so that you actually get a sticky sort of result. Right, toss that around well. Okay, then heat up a little bit of olive oil. Now you're going to cook this chicken in batches. The reason you're doing it in batches is otherwise you're going to boil the chicken and then it's never going to be sweet and sticky. Well, it might be sweet, but the chicken won't be sticky. Okay, wait till that's heated up. And then in it goes. Don't crowd the pan too much. Okay, so cook them to brown them on one side and then flip them over. Probably like sort of 5 or 6 minutes maximum. Don't overcook them because then they'll sort of be built on, sort of sticky built on. It's not great. If you want to score some brownie points with your kids at home and get the recipe, then you can go to drmol.com or pnp.coza, go to the recipe section. And if you want these ingredients just downloaded to your phone, then SMS the keyword kids to 33728 and you can head to PNP and do some shopping. I can add the coriander, a little bit of pepper. Okay, and then just pile them onto some noodles. As I said, I mean noodles into a wrap, onto rice, as they are, just as a sort of snack. Parents will love them, kids will love them. I love them. Here we go. Shove a little leaf on top. Enjoy it.
As women, we carry a whole lot of different things in our handbags. I would recommend that you carry a few medicinal items in your handbag as well. You can put all these items in a little plastic Ziploc bag, and that will be a small first aid kit that you have with you when there's an emergency. The first thing I would recommend is that you put a hand sanitizer in this bag, as well as some plasters and a small tube of antiseptic cream. Choose a general painkiller that can help for most aches and pains, something that contains paracetamol or ibuprofen. Carry some anti-nausea tablets and anti-diarrhea tablets with you in your bag. These few extra items won't take up a lot of space in your handbag, but can be very helpful when you need them and you're not close to home or near a pharmacy.
Coming up, a sobering discussion on depression and suicide. For more information from today's episode, visit drmol.com.
I want to live the best life.
Get your matric results on Newsbreak anywhere you are by using your cell phone. It's that easy. Simply SMS the words DBE or IEB followed by your ID number to 35935 and receive your results on the day of release. Alternatively, dial 082152 from your phone and register through option 6. Calls charged at best rates and SMS costs R3. Newsbreak 082152. Brought to you by SABC News.
Choosing Momentum Health Medical Aid gives you 2 free prenatal scans, up to 12 free antenatal doctor's visits, and 2 free pediatrician visits, making it the best maternity program of its kind. So, before you decide to have a baby, SMS family to 32856. Oh, and we also pay for immunizations up to 6 years.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist if Pharmacodynamics has an affordable generic suitable for you.
Globally, there is a condition that is more common than HIV, cancer and diabetes combined. It's called depression. We've tackled the subject on the show before, but never one of its outcomes, suicide. In South Africa, there are around 230 serious suicide attempts each day, 23 of which are fatal. That's around 6,000 to 8,000 people committing suicide every year in our country, making it the 3rd biggest cause of unnatural death in South Africa. Almost 1/3, however, of all non-fatal suicidal behaviours involve adolescents. Melanie's son Craig was unfortunately not that fortunate. Mel, thank you for sharing what you're about to share. Tell us a bit about Craig's story.
Craig he was 12 days off his 19th birthday. He had the whole world at his feet, literally. He had come out of a great school, had a great matric result. He was looking forward to a career in advertising. The day before he was due to start at Damlin, it ended so abruptly with him choosing a violent suicide. He jumped from his bedroom window.
And tough question to ask, did he leave a note? Did he give any indication as to why? I mean, you talk about it being such a surprise.
Yeah.
Was there any resolution?
It was, obviously, like I said, it was a total surprise. There was, it certainly was the biggest shock on earth to the entire family. And the first hint that something was wrong was a knock at the door very early in the morning. He'd been involved in a car accident and he'd run from the scene of the accident. I got into a panic because it was not his kind of normal behaviour. And I went on the attack verbally, which I've subsequently been told most parents would do under those circumstances.
I would have done exactly the same thing. Yeah.
It's something I beat myself up for many, many, many years because I held myself absolutely responsible for causing him to do what he did. However, I walked away from him, and he was obviously in a very, very, very dark, deep hole at that moment in time. I think he was like, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. I think the only way he saw out was to remove himself from the situation. And he, as I think a lot of suicide people actually do, he felt that by removing himself, everything would get better. And he scribbled a very quick note. It said, "I love you, Mum." His stepfather, Kevin, and his brother, Sean. And there was no thought or anything because he went to his bedroom window and jumped 5 stories.
Depression is the underlying cause in 90% of suicides. Looking back on the sort of events leading up to Craig's suicide, would you say that there were warning signs of his depression that were obvious now, possibly not at the time?
In the December, I planned this amazing holiday because knowing that Craig was matriculating, or had matriculated, I didn't know how many more family holidays there were going to be. And in retrospect, it was the last one, obviously. And on that holiday, he behaved very differently. He got angry about things that would never have affected him before. He was afraid of things that he would never have been afraid of before. And during his matric year, he pushed the boundaries hugely. He did a lot of things that got him into a lot of trouble in that matric year. I saw them as a kid who'd had enough of school, who just wanted out of the system. But had I been more willing to look deeper into the situation, I would have taken him for some kind of professional help.
The South African Depression and Anxiety Group lists a number of warning signs for teen depression on their website, and suicidal behavior, talking or joking about suicide, preparing for death. Many teens will give their favorite things away or even say goodbye. Changes in personality, a loss of interest in appearance, suddenly feeling better, in fact. If you know a friend who's been very depressed and hasn't been for treatment and suddenly bounces back to normal, it could be dangerous. It may mean they've set a date for their suicide and know that the pain will end soon. Mel, it's not a fair or a nice question to ask, but in retrospect, would you have done things differently?
Yes, I would have. Craig was just this absolutely average, normal guy. He did rock climbing. He was sporty. He played rugby. He played cricket. He did so many things. He was like an outdoor enthusiast. He loved wildlife. But from the time that he was a little boy, he had a very sensitive side to his personality. And when 9/11 happened, it was probably the very, very first time after his death that I was grateful he wasn't alive, because it would have devastated him. And I realized then, probably more than ever, how much of a suicide candidate he really was, because so many things hurt him. So, yeah.
So your learning there, Melanie, is just a greater awareness, a greater sensitivity for telltale signs and warning signs, and actually to do something about that. I mean, what would you recommend to parents or friends now if they have children or friends who are showing these warning signs? What should they do?
I would say that to expose that child to people without saying, oh, I think you're going to commit suicide, but exposing them to people who've been through this, who can let them know the devastation that's left behind, that they're ruining people's lives for all eternity, which is not their intention, would help them to think a bit deeper into the situation, that there is ultimately life down the road, that yes, you don't ever forget, but you can learn to smile, and you can learn to live, and you can learn to love differently.
There's been not a resolution, but there's been a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Your youngest son has had his own sons, and he's named, I think, his second son after Craig.
Yeah, actually his first son. Sean phoned me the one day and he said to me, Mom, guess what, it's going to be a little boy. And they named him Ethan Craig, so he was named for his uncle.
Wow.
And he's 3.5 years old now. And if you ask him his name, he says Ethan Craig. And you say, who's Craig? He says, my uncle. And he's so proud, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I have a lot to look forward to in life now.
That's wonderful. What pulled you through this? What gets you to get up in the mornings and put a smile on your face and sort of face the day and face the future that you describe as so much more brighter and beautiful?
Well, I do have faith, first of all. And I think that's kind of the thing that keeps me going. I know that I will see Craig one day again. That makes me feel good. Yeah, I've learned to remember the good times now, not the bad.
Great.
So I
and
have...
I appreciate the 19 years you did have.
Yeah.
After 16 you haven't had. So.
Exactly.
Great. So thanks, Mel. That took a lot of courage. Here's my message. Take all warning signs seriously. 75% of all suicides give some warning of their intentions to a friend or a family member. Teen suicide is a preventable tragedy, and through destigmatization around depression and education on how to recognize warning signs of attempted suicide, we can save a few lives. And if you're contemplating suicide, then the fact that you're watching this is no accident. Tell someone right away, a parent, a friend, a teacher, or call SADAG on the numbers on your screen. And remember this, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Of course, it's never a solution at all, so don't even think of it.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist if Pharmacodynamics has an affordable generic suitable for you.
After the break, we look in on Pippi Kruger's amazing progress. Follow the Dr. Mol Show on Twitter for daily informative health snippets.
I want to live the best life. Hello, doctor.
Some people could do with a few seconds of fame, but nobody can do without a few pearls of wisdom when it comes to health and happiness. Why not get both by being on the Dr. Mol Show? If you're in Cape Town, make a doctor's appointment to be in the audience for a live taping of South Africa's most watched medical lifestyle show. Details on drmol.com or send an email to info@drmol.com.
I want to live the best life.
Pippi captured the nation's attention when the little 3-year-old suffered third-degree burns to 80% of her body, and her cloned skin was used for grafting. Her recovery amazed doctors, and she was released from hospital 5 months earlier than expected.
If I have to say, I think she is a 3-year-old trapped in a 6-month-old body. She has to learn herself how to sit and speak and walk and all of those things all over again. I know it's really frustrated for her, but she has come such a long way, and she is doing much better in a shorter time than we initially thought she would have been doing by now. We all know she had a insult to her brain with the stroke she had. So we all are very positive on her doing those milestones, but we don't have a clue on how long it will take her to actually reach them. As they said, she has a plastic brain, so she just has to teach herself through other pathways to do stuff she used to do before.
Pippi suffered 4 strokes, kidney failure, collapsed lungs, and multiple infections, which makes her survival a real miracle.
Ever since day one, when the accident happened, when I started asking people just to pray with me, I don't think anyone in the world has ever gotten so much support from, I can really say, the world. It's been amazing. Everyone has been sending flowers and letters and cards and SMSs. Everything has been really amazing. I don't think there's another word than just plain amazing.
Amazing indeed. Dr. Ridwan Mia is the surgeon responsible for Pippi's revolutionary skin grafts and is monitoring her progress closely.
I think she's done very well. I mean, this was a child who we didn't know if she was going to survive to the next day. And so far she's come such a long way. Here she is eating and discriminating against what she likes, who she likes, what things amuse her and what don't. And mentally she's becoming so much more alert. You couldn't actually straighten her arms at some stage, so you can see her elbows are nice and straight. Her fingers were starting to claw. She's actually like starting to straighten them out again. Both arms are like strong enough for her to resist you. Like, if you look at her feet as well, they were stuck in an equinus, what we call an equinus position, and she's able to bring them up now. And the other thing is with her head, she's got like a lot more strength of her head. Can I pick her up?
I don't think I ever thought that Pippi won't survive. I just think my emotions were so strong that if someone even looked at me wrongly, I would have chased them away. So for us, the whole Pippi Heroes team still being together, that's a big step, and I'm really, really happy to have them all.
One of the main goals of Pippi's rehabilitation is preventing contractures. or permanent tightening of the skin, which occurs in burn victims while the skin heals and movement is limited. Her team of therapists are working to improve her mobility and regain the use of her limbs.
She's got a team of a physiotherapist, a speech therapist, and an occupational therapist. Pippi's personality has certainly changed over the time period that we've seen her for. Initially, she really was struggling to interact. We could still see, though, in the beginning, that fighting spirit that has really gotten her through all of this. But as time has gone on, Pippi has started to smile, she started to giggle, so her whole personality is starting to come out.
And what a personality. Pippi's had more than 50 procedures this year alone, and while she's healing quickly, there's still a long road ahead.
I think it's possible for her to reach a stage where she can function on her own. To say that she'll be exactly as she was before she got burnt is very difficult, and I don't think it would be fair to give her that goal to reach. We have to see how much she improves. So far she's defied the odds in terms of her improvement. We didn't even expect her to get to that stage, and she's doing quite well from that point of view.
While her rehabilitation may not be easy, Pippi and her team of heroes are well on their way to significant recovery. Go Pippi!
It's not hard to see why Pippi's stolen the hearts of a nation, a fighter's spirit in the sweetest little package. Speaking of sweet, diabetes is the subject next week, and we're testing Tim Noakes' controversial new diet with identical twins. You don't want to miss that. Until then, goodbye.